My daughter-in-law gave my pearl necklace to my granddaughter on her wedding without even asking me. Then they asked me to leave my own home, said it was a family decision. I packed 2 suitcases and walked out without crying, but I've never felt more erased. They thought I'd stay quiet, even when they laughed in the dress my mother stitched by hand. But silence is not weakness, and this time, they laughed at the wrong woman. Quick question before the story. What's keeping you company? A midnight snack or a heavy heart? Tell us below. We read every word. Happy birthday, Mom, David said as he leaned in and kissed my cheek, barely touching me. 66, right? 67. I corrected gently. He gave a quick laugh. You don't look a day over 65. I smiled, but it didn't reach my eyes. The table was already buzzing with conversation. Camilla arranging place cards like we were at some corporate gala, not a family brunch. Lacey scrolled on her phone. You're late, Camilla said, not looking at me. Her voice was coated in sugar. We were about to start the toast. I had to park down the block, I replied. Didn't David tell you to just Uber next time? It's easier. I bit my lip and took the empty seat at the far end of the table. Champagne glasses clinked. Camilla stood. I want to say something, she said, raising her flute. To Eleanor, thank you for everything you've done. You've raised a wonderful son, helped us with the house, and of course, always been so generous. David smiled sheepishly. Yeah, thanks, Mom. And because you've always believed in tradition, Camilla went on, we wanted to pass one along. She reached into her clutch and pulled out a small velvet box. My stomach flipped. I thought it was time this belonged to the next generation, she said, opening it. The pearl necklace. My mother's necklace. The one I wore on my wedding day. The one I never gave away. Camilla turned to Lacey. Sweetheart, come here. Lacey hopped up, giggling. For me? Of course. You're becoming a young woman. And this, Camilla clasped the necklace around her neck, belongs to someone who matters now. The room clapped. Lacey beamed. Camilla kissed her on the cheek. David raised his glass. I sat there, still, my throat dry, my smile frozen. You okay, Grandma? Lacey asked, playing with the pearls. Of course, I said, lifting my champagne. It's beautiful on you. Camilla tilted her head. Well, it was just sitting in that old drawer, wasn't it? I didn't answer. She never wore it anymore, David added quickly. I figured it might as well get some use. It's vintage, Camilla said. Real pearls. I had them rest-strung. That necklace, I said softly, was a wedding gift from my mother. Camilla blinked. Oh. I didn't realize it was that sentimental. David looked down. Lacey shrugged. I'll take good care of it. I nodded. I'm sure you will. Camilla sat down, adjusting her napkin like nothing had happened. Let's eat before everything gets cold. The quiche is from that French place on Maple. I barely tasted the food. Forks clinked. Laughter rose. Lacey took selfies. So, Grandma, she asked, did you have any boyfriends before Grandpa? Camilla snorted. Lacey, don't be rude. I'm just saying, she must have been a heartbreaker. I gave a small laugh. Your grandfather was the only one who ever stayed. David checked his watch. We should wrap up soon. Lacey has dance at 3. She can skip one day, Camilla said. This is a celebration. No, it's okay, I said. You should go. I've got a long day too. You do? Camilla asked. I do now, I replied. They didn't ask more. As we stood to leave, Lacey hugged me. The pearls brushed my collarbone. Thanks again, she whispered. Best gift ever. I held her tighter than she expected. You're welcome. Camilla air-kissed both my cheeks. Don't be a stranger. I won't. David offered a half hug. Text me if you need anything, okay? I nodded. Once they were gone, I stayed behind. The server came over. Everything all right, ma'am? Just fine, I said, placing a few bills on the table. Actually, can I get that mimosa to go? He laughed. I'll see what I can do. I stepped outside into the sunlight and breathed in. They'd erased me, not with malice, but with ease. And that somehow hurt more. Mom, can we talk real quick? David asked, standing in the doorway of the study. I looked up from my teacup. Of course. Something wrong. He stepped inside and shut the door behind him. That was never a good sign. It's about the house. I lowered the cup. What about it? He exhaled. Camilla's been working with a financial advisor. It turns out there are tax advantages if we move the title into her name. I blinked. You want me to transfer the deed to Camilla? It's just paperwork, he said. We'll make sure you're taken care of. I tilted my head. Taken care of? David, this is my home. He winced. I know, but it's only temporary. Just until things are settled. Settled how? For the trust. The estate. You know everything. I stared at him for a long moment. And where would I go? He scratched the back of his neck. Camilla found a few senior communities nearby. Really nice places. Gated, friendly neighbors, fitness classes. She wants to put me in a retirement home. It's not like that. You'd have your own unit. Independence. David, I said slowly, am I being asked to leave my house? No one's asking. We're suggesting. It's smart. It protects the family assets. So, this is a family decision? He didn't answer that. Later that evening, Camilla handed me a brochure. It's actually adorable, she said. They have Sunday brunches and yoga on the lawn. You'd love it. Will there be a spot for my piano? Oh. She hesitated. I guess you could donate it? I folded the brochure. And the deed. David slid the papers across the kitchen table. Just sign here. I read every line. No one rushed me. They didn't need to. Where's Lacey? I asked. Dance practice, Camilla replied. Does she know you're giving away my room? She's busy. She trusts us. I nodded, picked up the pen, and signed. Camilla clapped. Perfect. You won't regret this. David smiled. Thank you, Mom. Really? I stood up. Is it all right if I stay one more night? Of course, Camilla said. Take your time. No rush. The next morning, I packed 2 suitcases and left before sunrise. I didn't call anyone. I didn't cry. I just walked out of my own house with the grace they never deserved. Evening, ma'am, the motel clerk said, glancing up. Need a room? Yes. Just for a few days. Maybe longer. He smiled. We've got weekly rates if you decide to stay. Name's Benji. Eleanor, I replied. Nice to meet you, Eleanor. You want second floor or ground? Ground. I don't feel like stairs tonight. He handed me a key card. Room 7. Ice machines down the hall. Need help with bags. I've got it. Thank you. He hesitated. Just so, you know, complimentary coffee tastes like regret. I laughed before I could stop myself. That bad. Worse. Room 7 smelled like Lysol and tired stories. The bedspread was scratchy. The lamp buzzed. But it was mine, at least for now. I laid on the bed and stared at the ceiling. No photos. No sounds of family. Just the hum of air conditioning. I whispered, I raised him better than this. The next day, Martha called. I stopped by the house. Camilla said you moved. I did. She said you're downsizing. For freedom. Isn't that generous of me? Eleanor, where are you? A motel. Silence. A motel? I needed space. They needed theirs. It worked out. Don't joke with me. I'm not. You didn't even tell me. I didn't want to make a scene. Well, I'm making one now. You are not staying in a damn motel like some ghost. It's temporary. No. This is ridiculous. You gave them your house. For tax purposes, I said bitterly. Martha's voice cracked. Eleanor, why didn't you say no? I think I forgot how. She was quiet for a long time. Then, I'm coming over. No. I'll bring soup. I said no. You're being proud. I'm being polite. I'll find you, she warned. I smiled. You always do. Later that night, I walked outside to the vending machine. The air smelled like wet pavement and old trees. Benji was on a stool by the front desk, reading a comic. You settle in okay? He asked. Your coffee was tragic. Told you. I appreciate the honesty. You here for business or retirement? I said. He raised an eyebrow. You're joking. I wish I was. He tilted his head. Well, for what it's worth, you seem too sharp for shuffleboard. I chuckled. That's the nicest thing I've heard in days. Well, Motel Garden Views got your back. There's no garden. He grinned. There's a view of the dumpster, though. I laughed. It felt like air after drowning. Back in my room, I pulled the motel curtains shut and sat on the edge of the bed. No pictures on the wall. No family photos. Just my reflection in the blank screen of the TV. I whispered again, slower this time. I raised him better than this. I dragged the old shoebox out from the bottom of my suitcase, its corners worn, its lid trembling like it had secrets to spill. I hadn't opened it in years. The first envelope on top was yellowed and tied with a thin red ribbon, Stephen's handwriting, curling and exact. I unfolded the first letter. My Ellie. If you're reading this, I'm likely gone. You always hated melodrama, so I'll be brief. My breath caught. Don't let them take what you built. It was never just mine. You made it home. You made it matter. They won't understand that, but you do. I read it again. And again. And again. The fourth letter had a different envelope. Thicker. Untitled. I opened it and gasped. Stephen's signature. A will. Handwritten. Initialed. Notarized. I, Stephen Harold Whitmore, in full awareness and sound mind. It listed me as the sole owner of the house, the land, the savings account, and the antique assets. My name. Not David's. Not Camilla's. Just mine. I clutched the page and whispered, Why didn't you file this? The letter at the bottom gave the answer. You always told me not to stir conflict. I thought if I left it alone, they'd honor you. But if they don't, use this. Fight for it. You earned every brick. I stared at the letter for a long time. Then I picked up the motel phone. Whitmore Legal, a woman answered. This is Edith speaking. Edith. I think we met once. At Stephen's funeral. You were his assistant. There was a pause. Yes. That was years ago. My name is Eleanor. His wife. Another pause. Oh, yes. I remember. You wore a navy coat and held your granddaughter's hand. That's right. How can I help you? I found something. A will. Stephen's handwriting. Dated after the one that was filed. Her voice sharpened. Are you serious? I'm holding it now. It names me the sole beneficiary. Was it notarized? Yes. Notary stamp and signature. Everything. Can you scan it? I don't have a printer. I'm at a motel. Where? Garden View. Room 7. She hesitated. I can come by. In about 2 hours. I looked at the clock. That's fine. When Edith arrived, she wore a gray coat and carried a leather folder. You look exactly the same, she said. I feel like dust. She sat at the tiny table, and I handed her the pages. Her eyes scanned the lines, fast but thorough. She turned each page carefully. This is valid, she said quietly. Even now. Yes. It's dated 6 months after the official one. If this is authentic, and it appears to be, it supersedes everything. Even the house transfer? Yes. Especially that. It names you as sole heir. The house was part of the estate. I gripped the edge of the table. What does that mean? It means Camilla and David had no legal right to claim ownership. Not if this will is upheld. I stared at her. So, I could take it back? She nodded. You could contest everything. My voice wavered. I thought it was gone. All of it. Stephen clearly didn't think so. I reached for the paper again. Why didn't you file this? Edith sighed. He didn't like conflict. And honestly, he trusted David. So did I. She closed the folder. You need a lawyer. Not just me. Someone who can refile this. Someone who's not afraid to make noise. I looked up. Do you know anyone? Mr. Rowe, she said. Stephen used to mention him. Smart. Old school. Very private. Still practices out of his home office. Will he take someone like me? You're not just someone. You're his client's widow. You have a will. And now you have a reason. I nodded slowly. Can you call him? I can try. When Edith left, I sat on the bed and stared at the wall. Not crying. Not shaking. Just thinking. Stephen hadn't abandoned me. He'd tried. In his quiet way, he left me a sword wrapped in letters. I opened the last one. I hope you never have to use this. But if you do, know that I saw you. I knew what you carried. You were the strong one. You always were. I whispered into the empty room. I'll use it. The motel lamp buzzed overhead. The pearls may have been stolen. But the house? That was mine. And I was taking it back. I rang the doorbell twice. Camilla opened it with her phone in hand. Oh. Hi. I found some of the antique dishes. Thought you might want them before I donate the rest. She blinked. You didn't have to. I know, I said, stepping inside. I just figured you'd want to keep what's valuable. David appeared in the hallway. Hey, Mom. Everything okay? Just bringing these by. Camilla pointed to the counter. You can leave them there. Is Lacey home? I asked. She's studying with friends, David said quickly. I heard giggling upstairs. That sounds like math, I said flatly. Camilla smiled without warmth. They're working on a group project. I placed the dishes down. Funny. I don't remember calculus requiring heels and champagne. David stiffened. She's just having fun. I'd like to say hello. Camilla stepped in. Actually, they're filming something. You know how teens are with TikTok. I tilted my head. She's wearing my wedding dress, isn't she? Silence. David looked at the floor. I saw the photos on her Instagram. I continued. One of the sleeves was pinned up. That dress was hand-stitched. She didn't mean any harm, Camilla said. It's just a dress. She captioned it Grandma's Dust Bag Couture. Camilla blinked. She was joking. I forced a breath. That gown was a gift from my mother. It was the only thing she left me. David shifted. We didn't think you'd care. You didn't ask. Camilla folded her arms. You're being dramatic. And you're being cruel. She narrowed her eyes. It's fabric. It's history. It's ours now. I stepped back. So is the house. And the pearls. And the title. David tried to interject. Mom, let's not. No, I said sharply. Let's. More laughter echoed from upstairs. She's a teenager, David muttered. No, I said. She's exactly what you raised. Camilla flinched. What is that supposed to mean? She learned how to erase someone by watching you. You're being unfair. I gave you everything. And you've hollowed it out. Wore my necklace like a trophy. Gave my bedroom to your dog. Now you let your daughter parade in my wedding dress while you serve wine downstairs. David stepped forward. We never meant. You meant every bit of it, I said. You just assumed I wouldn't say anything. Camilla's smile returned, cold and sharp. And what exactly are you saying now? I looked around. The photos on the wall were new. No trace of Stephen. None of me. Just Lacey, posing in front of fireplaces she didn't pay for. I spoke calmly. I'm saying thank you. Camilla blinked. Excuse me? For showing me exactly where I stand. David frowned. You're misunderstanding everything. No. For the first time, I'm not. The giggling upstairs turned to shrieks of laughter. A girl yelled, She looks like a haunted widow. Another voice said, You should totally wear this to prom and pretend you were abandoned at the altar. The girls cackled. Camilla didn't flinch. David didn't move. I'll show myself out, I said. Neither stopped me. As I opened the door, Camilla called out, Don't take it personally. Kids say dumb things. I turned. So, Do adults. I left without slamming the door. I didn't need noise. Silence stung more. At the motel, I sat with the box of letters in my lap. I whispered, "Did you know, Stephen? Did you guess how far they'd go?" I opened the envelope again and stared at my name. Eleanor Whitmore, sole heir. They didn't know what I had. Not yet. But they would.
Soon.
Very soon. Are you sure about this? Edith asked, handing me the address. No, I replied. But I'm going anyway. She gave a soft smile. He doesn't suffer fools. I've lived with them. Mr. Rowe's office was in the back of a quiet brownstone. No sign, no receptionist. Just a brass knocker and the smell of old books when the door opened. "You're late," he said. "I'm early. For court, you're late. Come in." I stepped inside. Wood-paneled walls. A grandfather clock ticking like it had opinions. "Sit," he said, gesturing to a cracked leather chair. "You brought it." I handed him Stephen's handwritten will. He adjusted his glasses, read in silence, then pulled a pen from his pocket. "Your husband wrote this 6 months after the previous will?" "Yes." "Was he of sound mind?" "Sharper than most men half his age." He looked up. "Do you have reason to believe the filed will was manipulated?" "It wasn't. It was just outdated." "And the assets?" "They took them. Camilla and David. They convinced me to sign a transfer for tax purposes." "Did they inform you of your legal rights at the time?"
No.
"Did you have counsel present?"
No.
He folded the paper. "Then you were coerced." I signed willingly, but without knowledge. That matters. I met his eyes. "Can this be undone?" "Yes." Relief nearly made me sag. "But," he continued, "this isn't a small skirmish. This is war. Are you ready for that?" "I didn't start it." "That's not what I asked." "I'm ready." He nodded. "Then we begin with a formal challenge to the deed transfer. We'll file a motion to freeze the estate and request a hearing. I'll pay you. You'll owe me if you win. That's enough." I leaned forward. "Why are you helping me?" "Because Stephen asked me to if this day ever came." He knew. He hoped it wouldn't. I whispered. He was wrong. Rowe opened a drawer and pulled out a form. "We'll need to get this notarized." I signed. My hand didn't even shake. That night, I returned to the motel and found Benji at the front desk with a crossword. "Busy day?" he asked. "You could say that." He stood up. "You hungry?" I raised an eyebrow. "Why?" "Because the cafe just got a fresh pot of chili, and I can't eat it alone again." "I didn't know you were a chili enthusiast." "I'm a sad enthusiast of whatever's free." I smiled.
Fine.
"But I'm paying." Fair warning, the cornbread is a weapon. I followed him into the small cafe. Plastic chairs, laminated menus, a jukebox that hadn't played anything newer than 1982. "So," he said, setting down 2 trays. "You look different. Lawyer meetings will do that."
Oh boy.
"That kind of different." I stir my chili. I'm challenging a will, reclaiming a house, taking on 2 people I used to love.
He blinked.
"That's heavy." "I thought so too. Do you want to talk about it?" "Not really." "Then let's eat." We did. In silence at first. Then he said, "You ever think about disappearing? Like leaving it all and starting fresh somewhere no one knows your name?" "I used to," I said. "Now I think about being remembered." He nodded. "You seem like someone worth remembering." I smiled. "You barely know me." He shrugged. "I know you're braver than most people who stay here." Bravery and desperation look the same from far away. Benji leaned back. "Well, from here it looks like strength." Back in my room, I pulled out the dress Lacey had mocked. My wedding gown. I ran my fingers over the lace. My mother's stitchwork. My shape still faint in the seams. I whispered, "They don't get to erase this." Then I folded it carefully and placed it back in the suitcase. Mr. Rowe had asked, "Do you want revenge or just justice?" I hadn't hesitated. "Both," I'd said. And I meant it. My phone buzzed twice, once for a photo, once for a message. From Martha.
She really wore them again. Look.
I tapped the photo. There was Camilla, standing at the head of a candlelit table, wine glass in hand, pearls around her neck. My pearls. She was mid-toast, leaning forward, laughing. Behind her, David clapped. Lacey pouted at her phone. From Martha, follow-up. She just said, she always clung to old things like they mattered. The room laughed. I stared at the screen. Martha called. I'm sorry, she said. I wanted to walk out. You stayed long enough to get that picture. Don't be sharp with me. I only went because I thought you deserved to know. I do know. I've known. Martha lowered her voice. They've erased you, Eleanor. Not completely. Not yet. I don't understand how David.
Stop, I said.
If we start listing what we don't understand, we'll be here all night. She sighed. What are you going to do? I've already done it. You're not going to warn them?
No.
You're going to let it hit them blind? Yes. A pause.
Good.
I sat at the motel desk, unfolded Stephen's will, and smoothed it flat. The page was warm under the lamp. My name looked steadier than my hands felt. I took the printed photo Martha sent and slipped it between the pages. Camilla, smiling with my pearls. I circled the court date on a yellow notepad. 2 weeks. The next morning, Benji knocked on my door. You okay? He asked, holding 2 coffees. Is that the regret blend? Upgraded to despair roast. I took one. Thanks. You looked upset last night. Just tired. You know, I don't usually say this to guests, but you're not as invisible as you think. I blinked. What do you mean? You come in quiet, but when you leave, the room feels louder. Like it misses you. That's poetic. Don't make me regret it. I smiled. Too late. He nodded at the folder on my bed. Is that it? The will. It is. You going through with it? I am. He sat in the hallway. You nervous?
No.
Liar. Okay, maybe a little. Benji leaned his head back against the wall. They don't see it coming, do they? No, I said. They laughed at the wrong woman. That night, I sat alone with a pen and my phone. I hovered over David's contact. Then I pressed call. Hello, he answered. It's me. Mom? Everything all right? I need to see you.
Now. No. Tomorrow.
Alone. He paused. Okay, sure. Want to meet at the house?
No.
Camilla's going to ask questions. She'll survive. All right. Where? Motel cafe. Noon. He hesitated. You're still at that motel? Yes. He cleared his throat. Okay. I'll be there. I hung up without another word. I set the phone down and whispered, let's see how quiet you are when the laughing stops. Why are we meeting here? David asked, eyeing the leather chairs and dusty shelves in Mr. Rowe's study. This feels serious. It is, I said, placing the envelope on the table between us. Camilla crossed her arms. Is this about the pearls again? Because It's not about the pearls, I said. Sit. Mr. Rowe entered, nodding politely. David.
Camilla.
I'm Mr. Rowe. I was Stephen Whitmore's attorney and friend. Friend. Camilla repeated. Stephen didn't mention you. Stephen was discreet. I'm here because your mother-in-law asked me to be. David shifted in his seat. What's going on? I pushed the will toward him. Read it. He opened the folder and began scanning the pages. His brow furrowed. Camilla leaned over his shoulder. What is that? A will, Mr. Rowe said calmly. Dated 6 months after the one currently filed. Fully notarized. Fully valid. Camilla's voice sharpened. That can't be. Stephen already signed everything over to David. He did, I replied. Then he changed his mind. David looked up. You had this the whole time? I found it after you kicked me out. I didn't kick you out. You called it a gesture of trust, I said. Remember? Camilla hissed. This doesn't change anything. You signed over the house. I did. Under pressure. Without legal counsel. That agreement is now contestable. Mr. Rowe nodded. And with this new will, Your claim is void. If it proceeds through probate, Eleanor will regain full ownership of the estate. This is insane, Camilla snapped. You can't just come back and erase everything. I didn't erase anything, I said. You did. David rubbed his temples. Why didn't you just come to me? I tried, I said. With my silence. With trust. With grace. Camilla slammed her hand on the table. You're doing this to punish us.
No, I said.
I'm doing this to reclaim what was mine. Lacey walked in late, phone in hand.
Sorry.
Dance ran over. She stopped when she saw the room. Sit down, Lacey, David muttered. What's going on? She asked, looking around. Grandma's suing us, Camilla said flatly. I'm not suing, I corrected. I'm enforcing my rights. But why now? David asked. Because you didn't leave me much choice. Lacey sank into a chair. Is this about the dress? No, sweetheart, I said gently. It's about everything that came after. Mr. Rowe folded his hands. The matter is clear. A court will recognize this will. You'll receive notice of hearing dates. I suggest you retain counsel. Camilla stood. I don't need a courtroom to know what this is. Bitterness. No, I said quietly. This is clarity. Lacey's eyes welled up. Grandma. I looked at her, then down at her wrist. She was still wearing my bracelet. She wiped her cheek. Are we going to lose everything? You never owned it, I said. You were just living in it. David leaned forward. Please, we can talk through this. We are talking. Then let's compromise. Sell the house. Split it. No, I said. This isn't business. It's blood.
Camilla pointed at me.
You were fine in that motel. I was quiet, I replied. Not fine. She grabbed her purse. This is disgusting. Mr. Rowe calmly added, You're free to leave, Mrs. Whitmore. Just as she was. Camilla stormed out, the door slamming behind her. David sat in silence. Lacey sniffled. I reached for the envelope and tucked it away. David finally spoke. What do you want from me? Nothing, I said. That's the point, Lacey whispered. I'm sorry. I looked at her. Then grow into someone who won't be. The motel cafe was nearly empty except for the man reading a newspaper in the corner and Benji wiping down the coffee machine with a rag that had seen better days. I stirred my tea slowly, not really tasting it. The door jingled. I didn't look up until I heard the quiet voice. Grandma? Lacey. I blinked. Lacey. She stood there, coat too big for her frame, eyes red around the edges. She clutched something in her hand. Can I sit? I gestured to the chair across from me. It's a public cafe. She sat, setting her purse in her lap. She told me not to come. Then why did you? She said I didn't deserve it. Didn't deserve what? She hesitated, then opened her hand. The pearls. I didn't know, she said. Not about the will. Or the dress. Or any of it. You knew enough to laugh. I was trying to fit in. At my expense. I know. I sipped my tea. So, what do you want, Lacey? She looked down. I don't know. Silence stretched. She placed the pearls on the table. They're yours. I stared at them. She told me to give them back. Camilla? She said I embarrassed her. Said I was stupid to post the dress photo. Said it made you look like a martyr. I gave a bitter smile. I didn't need help with that. She was so angry. Because she lost. Because you fought back, Lacey said. She didn't think you would. She was wrong. Lacey leaned forward. Are you going to keep the house? Yes. And the money? Yes. She nodded. Good. I blinked. You're not going to argue? I came here with the pearls, not a lawyer. I stared at her. She was fidgeting, chewing the inside of her cheek like she used to when she was nervous in dance recitals. You didn't come for the pearls, did you? I asked. She shook her head. I came to ask if you hate me. I took a long breath. I hate what you did. I was stupid. No, I said. You were raised to believe I didn't matter. Lacey's eyes filled. I didn't mean to be cruel. You didn't mean to be kind either.
Silence again.
I never thought about what those things meant to you, she whispered. The dress, the pearls, the house. Because no one taught you to ask. She picked up the necklace and held it out.
Please.
Take them. I reached for them, then paused. They're not just jewelry, Lacey. I know. They're memory, legacy. And you wore them like decoration. Tears spilled down her cheek. I didn't know. I looked at the pearls, then at her trembling hands. Then I pushed them back toward her. Keep them. Her eyes widened.
What?
Keep them if you plan to matter one day. She blinked fast. I don't understand.
You will.
If you grow into someone who earns them. She clutched them like they were glass. Do you think I can? That depends on who you become. She wiped her face with her sleeve. I'm sorry. I'm not the one you need to say it to.
She stood.
Can I visit again? I don't live here forever. I know. But maybe I can bring tea next time. I nodded. She turned toward the door. Lacey.
She stopped.
Yes. Tell your mother she lost a house. Don't let her lose you, too. She looked at me, eyes full. I won't. And then she was gone. The pearls stayed in her hand. But for once, they weren't wasted. You sure you want to give it away? Benji asked, looking up at the house. I'm sure. He tightened his grip on the box. Most people would have moved back in, laughed a little, played loud music out of spite. I'm not most people, I said. And spite is loud, but peace is quieter. He followed me to the porch. So, what are they turning it into? A women's shelter, I said. 15 beds. A small kitchen. Some bookshelves. Your idea? Stephen's. In one of his letters, he said it was always too big for just us. He whistled. Not bad for a retirement plan. I smiled. It's better than shuffleboard. We stepped inside. The living room had been stripped. No more leather couches or gold-framed portraits. Just light. Martha appeared at the doorway, holding a hammer. Hope you don't mind, she said. I'm hanging the welcome sign. Be my guest, I said. I'm just passing through. She pointed at the wall near the stairs. We could put something there. Maybe a framed quote. No, I said, reaching into my bag. I brought this. I unwrapped the frame. A photo of my mother. She stood tall, wearing the pearl necklace, smile steady as sunlight. Martha's voice caught. Is that? Yes, I said. She gave them to me. I wore them with pride. Then they were taken. Then returned. You want them locked up somewhere safe?
No.
I want her to watch over the women who come here. Benji stepped back. She looks like someone you wouldn't cross. She was. I found a nail and hung the frame. It tilted slightly. I didn't fix it. Back at the cottage, the sea air welcomed me. My new front door was painted blue. Simple. Quiet. Mine. Benji set the last box down beside my reading chair. All settled. Almost, I said. One more thing. I sat at the desk and opened a fresh piece of paper. He lingered. Want me to give you space?
No.
Stay. I picked up my pen and began to write. Dear Stephen, it's done. The house is no longer theirs. It's no longer mine either. But it belongs to someone again. Women who need it. Women who will rebuild. I didn't let them take what we built. I let them bury themselves in it. And I walked away. I signed my name. Benji glanced at me. You done? I folded the letter. Yes. What about your son? No call. No visit. But silence speaks louder than arguments. And Lacey. She writes every Sunday. She mean it. I think she's trying. That enough. For now. Martha arrived with wine and 2 glasses. 3 if Benji stays. I'll just take the bottle, he said, grinning. We sat under the open window. The sea hummed in the distance. You miss the house? Martha asked.
No.
Not even a little? I looked around. This place doesn't echo. She raised her glass. To not going back. I clinked hers. To moving forward.
And I meant it.
We tell real stories for real people. If you felt something, don't scroll without liking and subscribing. And tell us, what part stayed with you the most?